Hello and welcome back to Footy Life. Today we'll do a quick review of the round of 16 at the Euro 2020, which provided us with some fantastic football and some upsets already. Some major teams out, mainly all of Group F, which was a huge surprise to all of us, I think. I think we all thought that both teams that were left in the group, or sorry, all three teams that were left from the group had a fantastic chance to win the tournament. So once we're done that, we'll focus on the upcoming quarterfinal matchups. That being said, let's get right into it. We'll start off with Belgium and Portugal, John. What do you think of the game?
I thought it was a pretty good game, really exciting. I feel like Portugal was actually a little bit unfortunate here. I personally think they deserved a lot more. I mean, they had more of the shots, more possession, but unfortunately came up short.
Yeah, you know what? As much as I don't normally root for Portugal and I really didn't want them to win, I wanted Belgium to win, I'll be very honest. They really did play well. They stepped up their game. They created opportunities for themselves. They had something like 20 attempts at the net. Yes, not all of them on target, but that's impressive against a Belgian team that normally controls the play. Um, I do think Belgium didn't necessarily deserve to lose either, but it was great to see Hazard out there, De Bruyne as well. But Portugal did make some tackles. It almost looked like you had 11 Pepes running around at one point with the tackles every player was making. Um, and of course, on Hazard, lots of fouls on him again, too.
Yeah, they definitely played their heart out. You could expect that from Portugal, but I mean Belgium. Yeah, I mean the one shot Torgan Hazard took. That's a world class shot, world class goal. Nothing the keeper could have done there.
You're right. I don't think anyone would have saved that, even if you had a different keeper in net. Next up, we had Italy, Austria on that side of the bracket. Italy took this one 2-1 in extra time.
Mhm.
Austria nearly scored in the first 90 minutes, only to be offside. And then extra time, we saw a three-goal thriller.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to some of the comments, and they're saying it's probably the worst Italy they've seen in the second half. There, they just couldn't find themselves. I guess couldn't really put anything together. I mean, that's mainly because Austria did a really good job defending, and Italy couldn't come up with any ideas, right? But second half, we saw, or was it an extra time? I'm not sure. Maybe just before we saw the coach make the two subs. We had Chiesa come on, and I forget the other guy's name. He scored the other goal, and you could tell that fresh legs made the impact. I think it's Matteo Pessina. I think that's who it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we saw two goals in extra time, three goals, two from Italy, and lucky for them, that was enough to seal the game.
Yeah, you're right. I want to comment on that note that you made about comments, people running around saying that's the worst Italy they've seen in the second half. You're absolutely right. I mean, Italy, France were tournament favorites going into the tournament. After the group stage, the favorite turned into Italy. And now, just a little spoiler moving ahead. Um, England are now favorites going into the quarterfinals after the round of 16. So it's very interesting how every stage there's a new favorite to win the tournament.
Oh
And
yeah,
so far, it doesn't look like the favorites have been too lucky with some of the results they've had.
yeah. We'll talk a little more about that after. But yeah.
So, speaking of that, we'll talk about
Okay.
France, Switzerland here. You had the world champions, heavy favorites going into this tournament. The return of Karim Benzema dominating headlines, 3-3 required penalties, and everyone knows and saw it. Of all players, Kylian Mbappe scored his last 11 penalties, missed his penalty, and it didn't look like a very confident effort either.
Not at all. You're completely right about that. Just the way he stepped up to the ball, I don't know. I feel like something was off about Mbappe this whole game. Uh, I think just before or in the second extra time there, he had another opportunity, and I don't know. It's just he seemed off that day, and unfortunately, it didn't play in their favor clearly. Um, but yeah, I mean, overall, France, I feel like they let this one get away from them. Um, Maybe they got a little too confident, a little too cocky after that Pogba goal. Beautiful goal, by the way.
You're
Um,
right. You're right. 3-1, you would expect
you
a
would
team
expect
of
to,
that level to
yeah,
hang on to the lead. And it was actually Pogba who lost the ball for the third goal to happen. So
it
I do want to
was,
give
yeah.
credit to the Swiss here, not giving up, not hanging their heads down, keeping their heads up high, keep fighting till the end, and look how they were rewarded.
Oh yeah, most definitely, they deserve that credit.
So we'll go on to another very, very exciting game. Also went into extra time. We had Croatia 3, Spain 5. It was 3-3 after 90 minutes, but Spain was up as well, 3-1 until about 10 minutes to go as well. And Croatia stormed back to force extra time here.
Oh yeah, I mean, another exciting match, right? This one, luckily, Spain fought back. I mean, for those who are cheering on for Spain, good for you guys. But yeah, Croatia, I guess they lost their concentration towards the end, or maybe the tired legs, right? But Spain had the firepower.
You're right. It's interesting from the first two games, Spain couldn't score. Then they scored five in their second match.
Yeah,
They've scored five again, so they certainly found their shooting boots. And even Alvaro Morata, who's had a tough tournament so far, he actually scored a very nice goal as well.
surprisingly, I mean, he had another goal too. He was offside, typical Morata, finding himself offside. Um, but who's this other player? Ferran Torres? Is that who he is? Fernan Torres?
Ferran Torres, yep, yep.
Is he the former City player now at Barca? Is that what it is?
I think that's correct. And he actually started the first game against Sweden for them,
Yeah,
and then because they struggled to create anything of quality, he was actually taken off, and then now he comes off the bench and he scores
he
again,
scores
two
again.
gate
Yeah,
two games in a row. So very, very interesting to see um, Spain's lineups. I mean, you don't know who's starting anymore. In our fantasy team, we had Jordi Alba, you think most
yeah.
experienced left back for the team, and he started on the bench. So it's kind of a bit of a pep roulette style for Spain at the moment, but now it seems to be working.
Yeah, definitely. They have a lot of talented players there. Hard for the coach.
That's true. That's true. We'll go over to the other side of the bracket now. We'll talk about Sweden, Ukraine, and this game was also very, very exciting. And I do feel bad for Sweden here, having taken the loss. They lost one by one goal as well, 2-1 in the 121st minute in extra time.
Oh yeah,
Um, Ukraine, we've seen them fight back before. They were up 1-0 with a beautiful Zinchenko goal, but then I want to talk about one player from Sweden, Emil Forsberg.
hmm.
He's had a phenomenal tournament, 4 goals, 4 games, scored a goal here, hit the crossbar in the second half as well, which could have put Sweden through. And then an unfortunate red card for Danielson, which it's really hard. There's a lot of debate in whether or not it was a red card or not, but he gets the ball cleanly, and it's the
Yeah,
follow through that causes his studs to be up on the player that I'm sure had he got there first also would have swung through. So I don't know if it was a red, a yellow, absolutely, but it's harsh, especially at that stage in the game.
especially at that stage. Yeah, I mean, any kind of red card. But I think when you're looking at the replay here and you're looking at the studs go up, you're gonna automatically say it's a red in my eyes. I think.
Yep,
Um,
yep, fair.
but yeah, I mean, going back to Sinchenko, he's definitely showing his the quality player he is. Right, scores a goal, assists the second one, and yeah, like you said, sucks for Sweden to lose in the 120th minute in extra time. But yeah, good for Ukraine on this one.
Oh, absolutely. So the next game, England, Germany. England did take this one 2-0.
Yeah,
Harry Kane finally got a goal, and of course Raheem Sterling again. Everyone who doubted him in Southgate's team selection the whole group stage, he's come good again. So credit to England here. They were at home in Wembley. I know Shanky said previous video that there was no home advantage. This was the only match I believe that would have had a home advantage in the round of 16 here. And you know what? Hats off to England. They created their chances. They made good on them against a German side, which I won't say is a full strength team right now. Of course, struggling with the history in recent years, but credit to England for shutting them out. Germany had never lost in Wembley before, and it was a tough task for England for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, Germany still controlled the game. They had more shots. Um, you had that one chance that Mueller could have scored. I know he's being really hard on himself right now. You know, I think you saw that post he made right
Yep.
on social media. Um, but yeah, like you said, credit to England here. The first goal, beautiful team goal. You know, 2-3 passes getting stringed across, and yeah, what's his name? Sterling was there in the right spot. But I do want to say another thing is Jack Grealish came on again second half and immediately made an impact.
He's a great player, and I still don't know why he doesn't start.
Yeah, I wonder if he'd be the same. I wonder if he would make the same impact if he started though. Maybe he's
I do think he would.
yeah.
I just think he's that type of a player. I think he can influence a game from the get-go. I don't think he has to wait for tired legs. He reminds me very much of Hazard when he was at Chelsea. He's now taken the role of most fouled player in the Premier League when he plays for Villa.
Oh,
And it's a similar type of thing. He's very good at shielding the ball and then sliding a pass through as well, setting up and creating chances. And I would like to see him start the next game because I think he can do some damage from the beginning. And it would certainly save England fans at least a little bit of nerves here,
oh yeah.
waiting. When's that goal going to come? When's that goal going to come? So good for England for winning this one. I do think if Germany had leveled with Muller's goal, maybe we would have seen some extra time, maybe penalties again, and then we know how history probably may have repeated itself. Maybe not. We'll never know though. But credit to England for sure. They deserve it, and they're now definitely tournament favorites.
Definitely. We'll see how far they can go.
So next up, we do have the Netherlands Czech Republic, which perhaps is one of the biggest upsets of the tournament. A Czech team here, which no one really rated and has come up with the goods once again here against a Netherlands team, which did very good in the group stage. Defensively, offensively, there wasn't really a weak point to point out here. And then Bilic gets a red card and
Yeah.
Netherlands completely crumbled.
I think you're right here. I mean, that was the major turning point, right? The red card. I mean, it was pretty balanced battle, I would say, before that. But you could just feel that Netherlands were on the point of, getting a goal. But unfortunately, Delit, he got the red.
Yeah, you're right. But again, got to give credit to the Czechs. All these underdog teams that are causing problems. Even Austria, who ended up losing to Italy, none of the teams that played ever gave up. Every team is fighting till the end, which is really great to see here because sometimes you can go down 1-0 towards the end of a game and then you just fall apart. So really great to see that they were every team's fighting for it. They're giving it everything they have. It's fantastic to see in football.
It definitely
The
is.
the last match of the round of 16 here, we had Wales against Denmark. And don't forget, this is a Danish team, the first team to make it to the round of 16 after having lost the first two matches of the tournament. And Denmark ended up running away with this one 4-0.
Oh man, you got to give full credit here to the Danish team here. I mean, they're showing some really good quality out there. You know, Dolberg scoring two beautiful goals. Well, the first one I really enjoyed. But yeah, I mean, they're coming really strong as a team, and who knows? These guys could be the next underdogs.
I agree. And you're absolutely right. Kasper Dolberg,
Yeah,
what an incredible story for that match. Yusuf Poulsen has an injury before the match. Dolberg comes in, hasn't played a lot,
no,
and comes up with such finesse and creativity and in the right spots, right time, and cool as a cucumber, if you want to say that,
yeah,
to put his chances away. So he had a fantastic game, and I really hope he gets to start the next match when Denmark play the Czech Republic. So that being said, now we'll just quickly go over the teams that are in the quarterfinals. We'll have Belgium, Italy, Switzerland against Spain on one side of the bracket, and then on the other end we'll have England, Ukraine, Czech Republic, Denmark. What do you think is going to happen for Belgium, Italy?
Oh man, I feel like this one's gonna be a chess match. Um, Italy 2-1. I don't think it'll go. I don't think it'll go the extra time. But I mean, just seeing how much trouble Portugal gave for Belgium, I feel like Italy could do the same.
Yeah, and you know that Italy's defense is normally very,
Solid.
very strong, right?
Yeah.
I am going to go opposite you here. I'm going to say Belgium. Courtois is having a tournament again, just like he did in the World Cup. My biggest question mark was Belgium's defense, and I think they proved against Portugal, who utterly outplayed them and outshot them, that they can handle that type of pressure. Now, I think it's going to depend a little bit on the fitness of Hazard and De Bruyne. Are they now fit enough to play in this next match again? So there's still question marks over that, but I do think Belgium will come out on top just based on how Austria was able to cause problems for Italy as well. They certainly had more than the one chance that they scored to score a goal. And I just feel like Belgium's got that creativity to create a few extra chances against this Italian team. But we'll only know once the match is over who won. Next up, we've got Spain, Switzerland.
I feel like Switzerland here is going to give Spain a lot of trouble. Um, I mean, I counted Switzerland out here, but now seeing what they did against France, I mean, Spain hasn't shown that they're the strongest, defensively. So I think Switzerland will slightly edge this one 2-1, or it'll go to penalties and Switzerland takes it again in penalties.
I'm with you on this one. I'm going to pick the underdog here for sure, Switzerland. I think we said in the preview of the tournament, Switzerland is a very good tournament team.
Yep.
And this isn't the first time Switzerland's coming up against Spain here. They did it in the World Cup in 2010 as well in South Africa and absolutely crushed Spain. Huge upset there. And it's something where Switzerland have turned up in the last group stage. They finally showed up to the team that they are, and now we can see that with them. And you're right, Spain defensively, I don't think they're solid enough, and they're gonna have issues there. I think Switzerland as well. It's gonna be maybe I'm gonna say 3-2. I don't know about the Swiss defense against the Spanish team that's gonna control the ball, but I think Switzerland on the counter is gonna hurt them. Moving over to the other side, Ukraine against England.
Yeah, I mean, I think England's going to take it, but I don't see it being an easy task. Ukraine's going to, fight to the very end, right? I mean, this is quarterfinals now. The competition's getting stronger. Yeah, I don't think Ukraine's going to let their guard down on this one, but England still has, more of those world-class players to make a difference. So I think England will take it.
I'm gonna go 2-1 England.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think Ukraine will fight and keep fighting and not give up as they have shown every game, especially that game against Netherlands in the group stage. They were down 2-0 and came back 2-2, only to lose 3-2 in the end. But I do think England just have the quality, more quality than Ukraine. And I think now that England's beat Germany, I think that's such a confidence booster for them.
Oh, yeah.
That no other team here, no other matchup is going to give you that kind of confidence as when England beats Germany. It's such a classic rivalry, just meant so much to them that all gears are going to start clicking for them now.
I agree.
The last match for the quarterfinals, we have Czech Republic against Denmark, which I think will end up being a very close match. I am going to go with Denmark on this one. We obviously know the team is extremely motivated to do as best they can for Christian Eriksen, who's of course not playing with the team anymore, but I'm sure watching on at all times. They Denmark's woken up in the last two games as well. It's kind of like Switzerland. They've performed extremely well. They've scored 8 goals in the last two matches. And I think they're going to be too much for the Czech Republic. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet, but I think they'll just outscore the Czech Republic.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one. I think Denmark will take it. Going back to Czech Republic's previous match, I think they got a little bit lucky. Not to take any credit away from them. They obviously still had to score the 2 goals against Netherlands, but Netherlands did get a red card. So I think, they got a little bit of luck there on their side. So I think, Denmark's gonna take this one. As long as Denmark doesn't get any red cards, then we could see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you never know. It could be a red card, could be an own goal. I can't remember. I think it's 9 own goals now, and I think up until this tournament, there had only been a whole total of 9 own goals in Euros ever. So,
wow.
And anything's possible this Euros. But I'm really enjoying seeing some upsets, as bad as it's been for fantasy, for a lot of fantasy players. It's great to see these other clubs and nations, and it's almost a fair playing field. It's very good to see. So as always, thank you guys for tuning in. If you like what you're seeing, please hit the subscribe button right below the video here. Hit the like button on the video as well. Give it a thumbs up. Every little bit helps the channel and is much appreciated. There's a link in the description along with our league code if you still wanted to join up on our fantasy league. Of course, your points will carry over. You'll be ranked accordingly. Until then, until the matches, we'll see you after the quarterfinals for a recap of them and a preview of the semifinals. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you after the matches. Enjoy.